a little bit. I'm looking for my camera. And I was whining. I was like, I'm in pain. And I'm yawning. I'm starting to yawn. I'm wiped out. I'm in pain and I'm yawning. And I can't find my camera. Where's my USB camera? And then I'm like, come on, Jay, pull it together. You sound like a crybaby. I'm like, I'm not a crybaby. I'm just telling it like it is. Yo, it's no big deal, homie. I don't mind yawning. I just might fall asleep, like, in the process of whatever. Also, when it comes to the pain, I'm probably due for a painkiller. Or something, man. I'm probably due for a lot of things. But a painkiller. Where the fuck is... Can I get an amen? Amen! Can I get a camera? Duh. Hey, George. Where'd you put the camera, George? I don't know. Wait a minute. Maybe it's still on the tripod? That seems likely. Ding, 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 ding. You see, I know it's ridiculous because I don't believe that is a good place to keep it neither. Yeah, it is broken, and it's like as if I'm living in denial of the fact that my camera is broken by leaving it like on the tripod. It's not secure. It's not good. It's not anything. Like, here. Let me do this trick and spin it. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna reduce the window. Okay. I just want... No, I'm not gonna play music for you. But look, it's ridiculous how easy it is for me to do that. Like, that's my tripod. It's totally, like... I should get out of the habit of keeping... Don't you think I should? It's like I'm in denial of how broken this is. By keeping the webcam in this contraption, it is essentially, in effect, a total denial of the truth. I should remove this camera when I am done with this production and put it somewhere like in the drawer with all the pills and the cables. Right? Okay, I suppose I didn't have to shrink the window that quickly. Hey everybody, it's me, JJ. It's my microphone on from Bright Idea Records. New York City, get a rope. Bright Idea Records, get a light bulb. I could put it up there, right? And then after doing that, I could smoke some meth out of it, right? I don't know, dude. It's a light bulb. You could do whatever the fuck you want with it. I don't care. If it's an LED light bulb, it's probably made out of plastic. So good luck with anything. I'm just trying to show you a trick. I don't know if you know this trick. I feel like I invented this trick. I had to. You see, I'm almost done with the iMac. It's not... Yeah, I'm yawning, I'm in pain, I'm exhausted. It's not that big a deal. I'm just a drama queen, okay? I got the hard drive out, I put the hard drive in. It's of little consequence, except for the fact that I, like, ruined a jack that's in there. Like, that one scrawny little cable. I'm not quite sure what it does. You know, it got a little dicey, man. Like, I was putting it back in. You know, you kind of have to keep the LCD like rocked into place. It'd probably be perfect if I had like a V-shaped like holder of if I had an assistant and they held their arms like that, that would probably, you know, I don't even know if that would help because it's still awkward. But hopefully that jack doesn't matter because I'm gonna try to power it up. But no, I wanted to show you. I wanted to put one bolt into place because I discovered a technique, okay? And it might be helpful. You see, I'm a drug addict. Sometimes I need straws to stick things up my nose because I gotta take drugs and they have to go straight to my brain. And it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to manage. You're lucky I'm not using needles, but I don't really want to make hamburger out of my body. It's a difficult thing to manage the whole fucking process of not only being addicted to drugs in a physical way, perhaps the cycle. No, I'm not addicted psychologically. Every time I take one of them, I say, this is ridiculous. I'm so tired of this. This is the worst way to live. So I know I am not psychologically addicted. It's a physical addiction that I have to maintain. And I know this on a conscious level. Because I don't want to get sick. And also, I don't want to be in pain. So, it's definitely not a psychological addiction. If you're addicted to weed, if you're addicted to cocaine, if you're addicted to ecstasy, if you're addicted to PCP, if you're addicted to anything, I feel sorry for you. But it's a psychological addiction, and you're just stupid. Alright? If you're addicted to cigarettes, nicotine, alright, I'll cut you a break. But you should just put a nicotine patch on, retard. Alright? I've got it hard. I've got a hard life, and what's the point of this hard life? The point of this hard life is I discovered if I take this straw, you see these are magnets, and they are high-powered magnets. Just how high-powered are they? Dude, they hold the display in place. Like, look. You see this? This is like one of the screws that I'm gonna put. Okay, I'll focus better here. I know you want to see what I'm talking about, right? This is one of the screws, one of the hex screws that's got to go into here to hold the display in place, right? Which is now fuzzy because you had me focus on the screw. Yeah, okay. I'm producing. Whatever. So what? How high power is the magnet? That high powered. Yeah, you want to see what happens when I try to put this into the hole it needs to go into? Here, I'm putting it in the hole. Oh, it totally stole it from me. Do you believe me? Have you ever tried this before? It's pretty, like, tricky, right? Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. That's better. No, I didn't use a Kleenex. Okay, so what? Anyway. No, it was not a snot rocket. It was as watery as like gelatin before it has set and formed. So here's my trick. I take the screw, this holder that keeps it into place, I put it at the base of my drug straw. Okay? And then I take my screwdriver and I hold it and I make sure it's locked into place because it's a hex screw. Okay? And then I can bypass the magnet very easily because it's on a direct route to heaven. I gotta lift the monitor though. It's gotta raise up a bit. Oh, it's okay, almost got it. I probably should have used a different hole, huh? Hey, kid. You know what? When it comes to holes, I know how to get into them. Okay? It's one of my specialties. Trust me. I'm like a cat burglar when it comes to getting into the holes. Okay? And I don't need a second try. Because I got my drug straw. Isn't that cool? Oops, sorry, kid. I don't mean to, like, make you nauseous. I know, the whole thing is weird, right? What a weird how-to video. How to get your screw past the magnet by using a drug straw? I know, I'll focus. It would be nice to have an auto-focusing camera, but I chose to forgo that and mod the camera because I have to get up close, and this camera was never meant to, like, zoom on anything. It's not one of those cameras. It's not an up-close camera. It's basically like, yeah, there's the drug straw. Yeah. Narcotic straw. It's a pill straw. Yeah, or whatever else I can get my hands on. Ain't I a stinker? Hey, this stinker can get their bolt in the fucking hole when they need to. Is that some MacGyver shit? Want to see me do it again? Yeah, I know I'm pathetic and desperate. I'm trying to actually emphasize that. That, like, I don't know if anybody will ever understand. That's why I make the Grandpa JJ skits. Because this looks depraved, even though I'm sharing a useful tip. Whereas the Grandpa JJ skits are dumbed down that a 6-year-old can understand just how lousy my predicament is. And how I was never meant to be here. I'm the worst drug addict I've ever seen. You realize that, like, I'm basically gonna get dope sick before I go out and cop. Like, the rule number 1, if you're gonna be a junkie, you should be able to cop for yourself. I can't. I'm not that good at being a junkie. I'm basically an injury victim. I'm just a nerdy guy that got injured. I'm not a dope fiend. Although you people treat me like one, my doctors especially. You see how good that works? When you use you just inject it at the base and it totally bypasses all the magnets. Because if you try this, you want to see what it looks like when I try it without the straw? You want to see? Here, check it out. We'll switch to the other side. I will try my very, very best, and I might succeed. I'm not gonna fuck up on purpose. It's just I have a few. I got that one and that one and that one. I should probably power it on first, yes, because I did destroy that one jack. I don't think it's critical with regards to the operation of the system, right? But before I do all this stupid work, I guess I should probably make sure that it'll, like, function. Yeah? Okay. Here we go. Yes? Maybe? Aw, shit. You gotta be kidding me. It's not working. Oh, God damn it. Motherfucker. Dude, I tried my best to, like, salvage the... You know what? That'll be interesting. You know, okay, look. If worse comes to worse, I can still output this to, like, a TV. utilizing something like what, pray tell, genius? Like your mother? That doesn't make sense. No, but your lack of faith in me makes me want to say that. Oh man, like my Thunderbolt. I could still, even if I totally trash this monitor, there's still hope for the future. I can't believe the fucking thing snapped on me though. That was really just not expected. Eh? Eh? You son of a bitch. Check signal cable, my ass. These computers can be such dirty cocksuckers. It's like, you know, when you get the BIOS message like error, no keyboard attached. Please attach a keyboard and press F1 to continue, that kind of shit. I could just imagine what it says right now. It probably says like error, no display. Oh shit! Oh, there it is. Yay! See, there's a lesson to be learned there. If somebody's not doing their job, talk shit until they actually do their job. And then it'll happen. Just like berate them and just like tell them how lazy they are and worthless, and maybe they'll wake up from the nap they're taking. So that kind of sucks though. I was expecting this to work. It's ridiculous. I got all the ribbon cables in place. I don't really care. My back hurts. I need to sit down. That's all that I'm trying to do. Just sit down. I can't do this anymore. It's gotten to the point where I gotta quit, but I can't quit. I can't quit. This is like computer parts everywhere. It's cool, man. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I can live with it. I'm a cyberpunk. It feels good to have this much, like, random, chaotic computer crap all over the fucking place. But when I gotta sit down, I gotta sit down, so. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I will smash all of this shit to pieces rather than suffer, because I really got a problem. And the drugs don't even help that much. And especially the ones I got now, no, they're not prescribed to me. I know, that's an awkward thing to talk about. I'd prefer it if you kept that between you and me. Because I don't want my provider to get in trouble. Yeah, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. I'm a national treasure and a hero. And how do I deal with my injuries? I can't really talk about it. No. No. They owe me a favor. No, it has nothing to do with this. Of course not. Are you fucking kidding me? Even if it did, I wouldn't say it did. It's a federal crime. And I don't even care if the statute of limitations apply. I never sell my medication. I never trade my medication. And I never will. So, hey junkies, now that you know I'm addicted, hey, don't even ask. It's a public fact. I don't do that. So stay the fuck away if that's the question you need to ask me. Go get your dope elsewhere. Alright, that's how that works. Oh my god, my back hurts. Oh, that feels so good. I can't. I was gonna lose my mind. It hurts so bad. I couldn't sit down. I had monitors in my chair. There's nowhere else to put them. I know I should put my shoulder sling on. Where the fuck did it go? It's over by my cigarette tray. Let me rest my back just 2 seconds longer. Please. I was never meant to be a junkie. I'm very lousy at stealing televisions, VCRs. I've never even done that. And you can tell I have everything I've ever owned. I can't even sell my own shit. What's the point in stealing people's things when I probably won't even effectively sell it for cash to get drugs? Oh, I'm not cut out to be a drug addict, am I? It's kind of like, that's a pretty good way to tell the difference between a patient and like, you know, I don't want to use any disparaging terms, but the problem is I have to. I think I'll just throw a slew of them at you, okay? That's the way you can tell the difference between a patient and a junkie, a dope fiend, a street drug user, an addict. Yeah, I know that wasn't comfortable for me. I do not feel empowered. I feel the opposite. I feel depowered. I don't like calling people those things because I sympathize. I empathize, and I know what they're going through. And they are basically just chemically addicted, desperate people. That's probably the most politically correct way I could say it, as opposed to all those other things. A user? Yeah, that's not polite. I mean, if you're talking about a computer system, yes, that's totally normal. If you're talking about a human being that has a chemical dependency, I don't think that's a polite term. A user? That seems very derogatory to me, especially the way I've heard that term used. An addict, that is 100, that's even worse than being a user. Okay? It's not polite. You don't know anything about that person. You just know they're chemically dependent. That's the only thing you know, and you're going to call them an addict and a user? You need more details before you do something like that. That's rude, motherfucker. You know? Seriously. You people get away with murder when it comes to, like, putting down people in desperate situations. Why is it so desperate? Have you ever been physically addicted to anything? Why don't you try smoking cigarettes and try and quit? Without patches. Okay, motherfucker? If you can quit cigarettes without using nicotine patches, well then I'll ask you the question again and you'll probably have a better answer. Motherfucker. You don't know what it's like, do you? To be completely dependent upon something physically, otherwise you're gonna feel totally ill. What a way to live, right? It's not a way to live, it's a way to die. But the problem is look, the cigarettes are what they are. They're pretty useless. The nicotine, it's pretty useless unless it provides you comfort. Speaking of which, excuse me, I think my back is resting. Whew. Yeah, man, the nicotine's pretty useless unless it provides you comfort, in which case it's very useful. You know? You know, when I was growing up, before I ever touched a cigarette, I met a bunch of kids and adults, and you know what they always used to say? Yeah, I'll bet you can guess. Here, let me tell you, they usually had a pack of Marlboros, right? That was a very typical thing for a smoker back when I was growing up. You know, it don't matter with the variety, but I'll tell you, they were usually the reds, okay? Full flavor Marlboros. And guess what they always, cliche, stereotype, what was the cliche line that they always were throwing out there? Every day of the week, hour after hour. They were always saying, yeah, I really need to quit, man. I'm gonna quit. I know I'm gonna quit. Like, I just gotta get my shit together. I'm gonna get some patches and I'm gonna quit. And they never would quit. And it's just like, it gives a really bad impression to people that don't smoke, that see a person that desperate to quit that can't. It's like, motherfucker, you're such a loser. I hate Marlboro smokers. They are just the weakest. Like, they're the typical stereotype movie cowboy, right? Like, they're the cool fucking cigarette smoker, right? The Marlboro person. Actually, they are the weakest of the smokers. Those are the motherfuckers that walk around telling every stranger that they encounter, every stranger they meet, yeah, I'm gonna quit as soon as I can. I just gotta get my shit together. You know, I'm gonna get some patches or some gum. I was thinking the gum because I tried the patches and it didn't work. But then yeah, man, those fucking Marlboro motherfucking smokers were the most strung out of all smokers I've ever seen. Because everyone I ever met always proclaimed, except my Uncle Ray. He had a pack of Marlboros and he always offered me one and I enjoyed it. That's a strong cigarette for a strong man. And, you know, he didn't die from lung cancer, I don't think. You know, I don't know, man. I didn't go to the funeral. Because I'm too fucked up in the head to deal with anything like that. But my point is, I don't know, do I have a point? Do I need a point? What are we talking about? I was just trying to relax my back. If I need to talk about things while I'm relaxing my back, so be it. But wait, was there a point to any of that? Let me think. Smoking. Oh yeah, dope. Yeah, man. So cigarettes are hard to kick. Just ask a Marlboro smoker. Yeah. Try kicking opioids. It's not even comparable. Like the difficulty level. Like think of cigarettes as on a video game. Like Marlboro cigarettes are easy to kick, right? But an opioid addiction, whether it's prescription or otherwise, if it's a street thing like a heroin or a fentanyl or an opium, it don't really make a difference. The end result is going to be the end result. So let's say kicking cigarettes is easy, okay? Yeah? And yeah, kicking dope is ultra hard. Yeah. And there is no medium. Okay, let me think. Is there anything else that people get physically addicted to? Benzodiazepines, I guess, might be considered medium. Like if you've got a hardcore Valium addiction, or a Klonopin, I guess. That's pussy, if you ask me. If you've got a Klonopin addiction, you've really got to get your priorities straight. You know, Klonopin is not supposed to be a high-dose drug. It's basically prescribed in low dosages. So if you're taking high dosages of Klonopin, otherwise known as clonazepam, one of the safest benzodiazepines, but still deadly, especially in combination with opioids. Yeah, if you're strung out on clonazepam and Klonopin, you're really reckless. Cause like that's not even supposed to be used in high doses. You're a reckless person. Congratulations. You're looking to get high. You're looking to abuse drugs, aren't you? I can't blame you. The world sucks, right? God damn it! I just dropped my pill. I hate being Butterfingers. Oh man. I'll find it later. Let's hope I haven't run out. I really need what I need. But no, okay, Ativan, that's probably a step up. Yeah, it's all medium difficulty. Fucking clonazepam, Ativan, Valium, freaking Xanax? I don't know, man. Let's say, problem is, I haven't been addicted to all of these things. I've just seen people, and it looks pretty difficult. And I've tried some of them, and I definitely noticed that the day after, I was a very crabby person, and I did not feel good. And the hair of the dog, yeah, that's the tradition of, taking another one. When you wake up the next day feeling like the piece of dog crap run over, that's the hair of the dog. That's when you take another one. And that's how you get strung out, of course. If you don't want to get strung out, you just sort of suck it up and get yourself a coffee over at Starbucks, and then get yourself a joint, and you smoke the joint while you drink your coffee, and then you're basically not going to feel like shit anymore, right? And you don't have to get strung out? Well, I guess. Good luck getting a joint. I guess it's pretty easy these days. I don't know. I haven't had one in a while. I had one of those hemp ones, the federally legal ones, yeah. I smoked it on the stream with you not too long ago. Yeah. It was pretty decent. I mean, I think I fell asleep on the stream, so what do you think? Yeah, kids. It's not a blessing, it's a curse. And basically, I'm the only person that's gonna tell you that, because everybody else is too scared to. Oh, but I'm an actual patient. I have every right to suffer the way I'm suffering in every which way and form. Whether it be from my injury or my addictions. I feel completely justified. Because I've had a regimen for the past fucking 15 years. It's like 5, 5, 5. And I am an individualist, anarchist. And I will do anything it takes to survive, because I understand that they can't fucking throw me in. They can't prosecute me unless they have evidence. And this right here is not evidence. This is reality TV. I'm lying to you. This is all a stage show. See how easy that is to dismiss in court? I'm acting. And this is made to fucking prove a point that this is a protest video about how desperate some people are for help. But they can't get it because it's all criminalized and it's all weird. So asking for help in the first place makes you a criminal, like if you are, and most people that are addicted are. It's that plain and simple. Right? I mean, a doctor isn't going to prescribe enough for a person to get, like, you ever heard the term, I'm digging myself a hole? I'm digging myself a deeper hole. Yeah. A doctor isn't going to give you enough rope to hang yourself with. They're going to give what it takes to control whatever symptoms that you may have as a result of whatever cause of the symptoms you may have. It's a very scientific world we live in, and it's very closely monitored using computer information systems and law enforcement. You know, every prescription that I've ever gotten, I think, has a DEA number, if you know what that is. It's basically like, it's basically all accountable for. I don't know what happens down in Florida. I heard there was a lot of crazy shit, like doctors prescribing whatever to whatever to whoever. You know, that doesn't last because you gotta have a DEA number attached to your prescriptions, and you have to, like, there's a system for all of this. Like, you don't just go around. This isn't like some kind of like Old West. It's not like tincture where you got, like, you know, laudanum and like, you know, opium and flannel shirt and chalk bits. It's like it's all made by Big Pharma, and Big Pharma has very stringent, you know, with regards to the name brand medication. Like, they have to basically make it very pure because it's name brand. The generic stuff is nasty. It's not pure. It's like the name brand stuff is 99% pure. I don't know. Let's just use this as a hypothetical. Yes, this is my Bose speaker. I'm holding it because I love it and it makes me feel comfortable. I'd rather be listening to music right now. Alright? But I'm just gonna, like, maintain my... Yeah, I should make a cigarette. I'm trying to talk to you, though, and that's tough to do when I'm making a cigarette. If I had one made, I'd just smoke it and talk to you. At any rate, with regards to the doctors and the whole prescribing and crap like that, yeah, isn't that some funny shit? Could you imagine? You've been, like, riding a steam train for miles and miles, days and days from St. Louis to Tucson, and you've gone from, like, you know, civilization to the middle of nowhere, basically bumfuck Egypt, and you're riding a stagecoach, right? Because you need to get from Tucson to San Francisco. Because why wouldn't you want to be in San Francisco? Hell, sometimes I think I'd rather be in San Francisco, like right now. I mean, not right now, but like if I could take a nap and I could take a shower and take an airplane to San Francisco, that would be awesome. I could do that tomorrow. Right now I'm a little haggard. So naturally you're riding in your stagecoach from Tucson to San Francisco, and what happens? Uh-oh, Apaches. Woo! Ay caramba. They flip your coach, they flip your stagecoach, and the horses run away. All your belongings are strewn all over the cactus and all the, yeah, the mesquite. We got mesquite, Palo Verde trees, yeah. Some freaking some javelinas come up and start sniffing through your panties that are all strung up, yeah. Meanwhile, you're laying there playing possum, hoping that the Apaches don't scalp your white devil scalp. You white devil. You invader. What are you doing there? Don't you realize that's not where you belong? There's already inhabitants. You didn't know that. Nobody told you. Yeah, it figures. Nobody cares about anybody. They just... It's not a big secret. I think sometimes they put the scalps out on display. It's kind of like up on poles, or like, you know what? I wasn't there, but you know, You probably should have been more careful. Luckily, you survived the rollover of your stagecoach, right? So now you're in the middle of nowhere, in between Tucson and San Francisco. What do you do now? That's the end of my story. I don't know. I mean, like, you're either gonna get bit by a rattlesnake, a scorpion, or maybe you'll still get scalped. Like, if you get up and stop playing possum, you might get scalped. Because, like, a scalp is as good as cash. Or not, it's more like a merit badge, as far as I know. I mean, if I was gonna take a white devil and scalp them, I'd fucking pin it to my leather jacket and wear it like a merit badge, you know? Because I hate white devils. They're invaders, dude. Invaders must die. Hello? Like, it's like simple. Is it not? Like, give me a fucking break. I think you know this. I think we all know this. Invaders must die. Whether they're space invaders or you know what? We come in peace. Okay. I'll put my tomahawk down. What makes you so peaceful? I bring you gifts. Yeah, are they blankets? We don't need any more of those. They are not blankets. It is technology. What does this technology do? You can cook your food with it. Anything else? Dude, I got fire. Like, microwaves are nice and everything, but anything else? Oh, we have technology. We have hair dryers. Oh yeah, but we don't have like an infrastructure for that. Battery powered smartphones. Again, we could use them once, and we don't have an infrastructure for them. We have solar powered chargers. Smartphones and solar powered chargers. What operating system? Android 7? Oh, Android 8? Oh, it's a toss-up. I guess some want 7, some want 8. This guy wants to root his, and he's got an older root kit, I guess. He's got the Zaphoid. This one, they just want the newest shit they can get. They don't care about rooting. They'll take your Oreo, they'll take your whatever. Wait, who's the manufacturer? Is it a Samsung? Is it a Google? What is the manufacturer? Leeway? Oh, it's Chinese, huh? Okay, give us a sample. I want a free one. If you don't want me to scalp your fucking white devil ass, or space invader ass, give me a goddamn free phone. I'll check it out. If I like it, we'll negotiate. If I don't like it, I'm gonna kill you. Because you're an invader. Don't you get it? You're not supposed to be here. Like when people put a sign on their property that says no trespassing, what do you think that means? That means if you trespass, they can kill you. Like, it's that simple. I hope you're literate, because that's the laws of the United States of America. What? Dude, I'm serious. It's a very, like, you gotta be careful if there's a sign that says no trespassing. You know what's another good sign? Beware of dog. Because, no trespassing, they might kill you. Beware of dog, they're probably not going to kill you, but you'll probably get mauled by a trained guard dog. You ever done that before? You ever seen that go down? Come on, motherfucker, tell me. Have you ever been mauled by a trained guard dog? I have not. No. The first time I had an encounter with a dog that didn't like me, I think I was 5 years old, and this dog was like in my face, bark, 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 climbing up the front of me all the way up to my face. And that was like one of the very first asthma attacks I ever had. Needless to say, I guess I'm a cat person. I know it's not fair to the canines. I heard they're very loyal. I heard they're very trainable and useful. Obedient? I don't give a fuck, dude. I hate dogs. I mean, small dogs, if the dog is small enough I could kick it like a football, I will tolerate it. Alright? If it's cute and it's nice and well behaved, I might actually scratch behind its ears. Okay? If it's a yappity little fucker that wants to make my life miserable, I might kick it in the face when the owner turns its back. I'm just being honest with you, you people. Let's get honest. Come on. Have you ever heard anybody tell you anything like that? I never have. I'll tell you the truth. And I want to start a fucking dialogue about real life, man. And it's funny because I'm not going to check my messages and I'm not going to check my email. You're going to have to do the dialogue for me. But I think y'all know I'm a pretty damaged person that's pretty close to going postal one of these days. If I can find my clip, I don't know, maybe. I'd fucking love to ice you people. But then again, it's pointless. This is actually way more productive. Like, me killing you doesn't accomplish anything. Although it would feel really good. I got you right between my sights. You see that? My eyeball in the barrel of the gun? I could totally blow you away right now. It would probably hurt my shoulder. So let's talk. I'm gonna make a cigarette. It's time. My back feels rested, but my mind does not. It doesn't. And I don't even have anything to drink. I should go get some ice and a Mountain Dew, because I live on that shit. But let's talk. All right. So you know, one of my earliest asthma attacks was caused by a canine, and so I take them all with a grain of salt, and I will abuse one if they are abusing me. I don't care if they're a mindless beast. I am a mindless beast. And I will defend myself against a mindless beast. You get it? Do you get it? Is that completely psychotic? Or is that just like normal? To defend yourself, is that normal or is that psychotic? Dude, if a dog is giving you an asthma attack, that's self-defense. Not to mention that, if it's a dog with fangs, if it's a fucking guard dog, it's nice if you have a hot dog to feed it, and then it'll go away. Dude, that's the movies. Are you retarded? Are you a mongoloid? Are you a Down syndrome? Are you brain damaged? Did you get your head held underwater for more than 5 minutes and now you don't think straight? Have you been hit in the head with fists and kicked in the head with feet? Have you been in a rollover car accident? because I've had all those things. I don't know if I can still think straight. I think I can. I mean, I want to have a dialogue. But because of the fist and the feet and the rollover and the accident and the I don't want to talk to you. I want you to talk. I want you to argue. I want somebody to stick up for me and say JJ's not psycho. It's normal to defend yourself from wild beasts. And then I want some kind of like ASPCA person to say that's despicable. That's any abuse against any animal is a terrible thing. And then I want someone else to chime in and go, but what if it's threatening your life? I mean, have you ever had a disease like asthma? Have you ever felt what it's like to have an asthma attack? To defend yourself, I'd want to prevent an asthma attack at all costs. I've been an asthmatic my whole life, and if I can prevent an attack from happening, I will. And I would do it just about, I would do just about anything to prevent an asthma attack. They are terrifyingly scary because you can't breathe. And then I want somebody else to say, I don't care about your diseases. There's no reason to ever hurt an animal. It's unjustified. And then I want like more people to talk and argue about it until a fucking rational decision is made with regards to the whole thing. Will you do that for me? It would really put my mind at ease. I might even quit smoking one of these days. That's just one problem I have. Like, guard dogs are great. I know, they're obedient. And they're cute. Yeah, right. Here. Smithers, release the hounds. Yes, Mr. Burns. Yeah, man. If there's a sign that says no trespassing or beware of dog, actually, you know what's worse than beware of dog? Beware of dogs. Pluralized. Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's no wonder the white devils got scalped when they trespassed, right? Because, like, they didn't have trained dogs. All they had were coyotes, and coyotes weren't going to fight for anybody. I mean, have you ever watched a Roadrunner? Like a coyote is going to be busy ordering things from the Acme company. They're not going to defend your property. Meep. Taz hate water. Oh, come on, son. Have a nice, tall, cool, refreshing glass of OJ. It just made me thirstier. You know, there's a lot of, like, problems like what I just described. You know, that there's no easy answer to. You know? It's like, I see those ASPCA commercials, and it's like, they're not, I don't think they're rescuing guard dogs. I think they're rescuing dogs that are being sold because they're worth money. And like, some of these people are scrupulous. They will basically keep the animal, they'll put the least amount of effort into keeping the animal alive until they find a buyer, and then they will send the animal in that terrible condition to the, purchaser. And I guess that's like, I don't know. I don't really use the black market that much. You know? How about you? You ever use the black market? Like, you don't even have... I've never owned Bitcoin. It's true. I've never owned one Bitcoin in my entire life. You probably think that makes me such a noob. right? Dude, I hate money. It stresses me out. Like I don't ever have enough money to justify converting it into Bitcoin. It's basically making a mockery of my life to even consider such things. I went to see a financial advisor like fucking I told you guys the story about that rocker dude at karaoke that was kind of like a ex prison, white Aryan guy. It was kind of weird, but he had a band with some commercial success, and like you remember the story. And yeah, the financial advisor let me know exactly how much money it takes for a person to really require advice. And even with my settlement of like $25,000, he's like, look, I can't really advise much. You just sort of do what you want. That's what I say. Put it into savings with your bank. You get 5% interest. Hey, put it stock market. If you know what you're doing, if you got a good advisor, or if you know what you're doing. Yeah, okay. Bonds. Oh, okay. What about like? I'd probably just use the savings at your bank. 5% is very steady and it's secure, and a lot of things in this world aren't. Like, okay. And he didn't even charge me for the appointment. Basically, collect your 5%. If you have any money at all, just like, I guess if you've got more than that, if you've got like 100,000, 200,000, I don't know. He probably would have said, okay, let's play ball. I've heard some tips with regards to blah blah blah. We can diversify your funds. We'll put a third into the stocks. We'll put a. I've never had that much for anybody to care. So it's like, what's my point? I don't know. What are we talking about? I need a cigarette tube. Where's my cigarette tubes? I think we were talking about the animals and the trading of them and the whole money thing and like what people will do for money, and it's just like, I've never owned Bitcoin, that's right. I was making a statement on the fact that I've never found a reason to have the Bitcoin. Some people say that it's a really wise investment, that it's like going up in value all the time, or whatever. Sometimes you hear that, right? Sometimes you hear my Bitcoin is shitcoin. Sometimes you hear, oh, it's rising and rising and rising. Yeah, I think the whole process of Bitcoin mining is a respectable thing because I like prime numbers, because I'm into cryptography, and also I watched the movie Pi, and I kind of like trigonometry. I kind of feel like I would have fit in with Pythagorean's clique, I guess. Maybe in a past life. I don't believe in such things, kid. I just know I have a knack for triangles. And squares, maybe? Triangles, square, rectangles? What about trapezoids? I don't like traps. I tend to fall into them. You think that's clumsy, do you? It's easy to fall into a trap, kid. All you have to do is lay a trap, and something or someone will fall into it eventually. Trust me. It's a 100% guaranteed fact. If you set a trap, you will catch something eventually. It always happens. I mean, prove me wrong. It's true. You know it's true. If you set a trap, a living thing will fall into it or get snared by it eventually. It's just like a landmine. You know, if you plant a landmine, something will trigger it eventually. Am I right or am I wrong? Tell me. Why don't you tell me to my face? I say it will blow up and it will either take off a limb or kill a living thing. It's inevitable. Alright? I know, I play video games too. And in theory, that's a really cool idea. That like you're MacGyver. And you know how to fucking defuse a landmine. That's a really cool theory, kid. In a video game, it looks really cool, right? And you get to collect it and put it into your inventory, and it's useful, right? I mean, to be quite honest, if the video game has landmines and I get to defuse them and put them into my inventory, I'm more likely to sell them for the credits that they might, get me. Or caps. Yeah, Fallout, yeah. Or the only time I would really use them would be if I had like a big boss. Like a super mutant that I had to take down. You know what I mean? Like the super mutants, the yeah. Because really, it's not like you're gonna defeat them with landmines. But if you plant them all over the fucking place, and you know that they're gonna, like, be activating them, that will buy you the time that it takes to reload your freaking rocket launcher, right? While they're recovering from their toe getting blown off or whatever. The fucking megalithic, gigantor freaking super mutant. Like the one out front of the radio station in Fallout 3. Spoiler alert! Yeah. So, I pretty much never use the landmines. But if it's a very difficult boss, I suppose I would lay them all over the place. You know, like... You know what I mean? Like, seriously though, in real life, can you believe that shit exists? Like bear traps, landmines, holes, like a dug up hole, like a 6 foot deep coffin side, like the kind that you bury a person in. Yeah, with spikes at the bottom, like sharpened bamboo, and like some fucking string and some leaves, like that you can fall in the hole and get skewered. Like as if you're Mario on like a Bowser. You got your fireballs rotating. You're gonna get skewered on a fireball. Why don't you get skewered on a bamboo shoot, kid? Yeah. Give me a fucking break, dude. What is this? What is this trap? What is this trap? You know, the funny thing about those traps is they're very obviously traps. Like, it's undeniable that a bomb or like a fucking bear, like those teeth that goes tink, you know, like a bear trap. They don't always have teeth. Sometimes they're flat. And they just, when they spring, they get really tight. And so when you have those, like, tight, it's nothing you'd want to have happen to you. But regardless, you know, bears are scary. And so therefore, the invention of the bear trap made sense, because if you have a scary grizzly bear type thing lurking about that could maul you, it is justifiable self-defense, right? If you're an untamed raw land where, like, basically no civilization whatsoever, right? Like, undeveloped. It's like Borderlands, Pandora. Yeah, there's basically nothing there but things that will kill you. Okay, so how do you tame the land? I guess with bear traps. Yeah. Okay. How long does it take before the land is tamed? Like, how many bears does it take? I guess it depends. You gotta do a survey. You gotta scout the land. Find out, like, just how many the per capita, ratio of, like, bears to miles. And are they all violent? Are they all grizzly? Like, grizzly bears are the worst, I heard. They'll fuck you up. Like, they're very feral, I guess. From what I heard. Like a black bear, I don't know. I don't think they'll attack you. I think they might, like, eat your picnic basket. I don't think they're known. I don't think so. I think grizzlies are the only ones that people worry about, right? Aren't they? I don't know. Tell me. Discuss it. I don't really want to talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about it later. There's a lot of things you don't know about me. But I used to be friends with a grizzly bear. It's true. I was in that movie, The Grizzly Adams. Yeah, and I met the grizzly bear. And it didn't maul me. So, I can't remember the bear's name. We weren't, like, we were acquaintances. I was an extra in the movie, so I doubt if the bear remembers my name neither. Because extras are never remembered. It's just a stand-in. You're basically part of the crowd when you're an extra. Right. You just making the town look like it's populated when you're an extra. But that was a hell of a thing. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you? Do you understand? Answer yes or no. Do you understand? Thank you. I'm glad you understand. Because, there was a lady that got her face ripped off by a bear when she was at the zoo, when she was trying to get a photograph. And she crossed over, like, the boundary line. And, like her face is, like, it's completely artificial and rebuilt. But she still has one. Lucky to be alive. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You ever heard the term playing with fire? I recommend it. It's fun. But not when you're a kid. Because kids are clumsy. Right? They don't know what they're doing. Right? Oh, it depends on the kid. Look, man. When it comes to playing with fire, well, I guess if kids play with it, they'll only get tried as minors, right? They'll go to juvie for being arsonists. Yeah, I've always liked that threat. If you put a knife in my back, I'll do what you say, but I'll burn down your house when I get away. I know, that's only gonna raise the insurance prices, right? I do have lots of insurance prices. I do. I've never used my insurance, like, I was in an accident once. I think you might have heard it if you saw my Twitter post earlier. You know, it was the one about the New Year's resolutions from 1999. Some very, like, well thought out, very adult, you know, very honest and responsible. We had a gentleman that was considering cutting back on his masturbation habits. I don't think he was actually saying he was gonna quit. He just wanted to not be so. He was looking for more time in other areas, I guess. You know what I mean? He's like not looking to completely abstain. He's not looking to quit. He just wants to cut back. That's understandable, I suppose, with regards to anything, you know, that's wasting your time, right? That's one way to look at it. Granted, of course, I don't know the full circumstances of the situation. No, I'm not going to make a circumcision joke. That's the word, circumstances. I don't know what pertained to, like, what if he was, like, whacking it so much that he was chafing? What if he was bleeding? You know what I mean? Like, there might be extenuating circumstances for which that would necessitate the New Year's resolution of cutting back. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But I'm gonna stick with my idea. I think he's looking to just not waste so much time. It makes sense. Because who wants to waste time? Time is the most precious thing because it's limited. Do I have to get up and get the hourglass for you? You want me to? I will. You don't need me to? Okay. So then we have Elmo. He says he's gonna get a divorce from his wife and get a wedding ring for his, you know. Look. That's cool. She sounded happy about that. So that's a good New Year's resolution to proclaim. Goddamn. Okay. Then I asked fucking Amy, that dumb bitch. I'm like, yeah. She's like, no comment. And that's typical. I don't know if we were enemies yet. I don't think we were. But, you know, I think I could tell she was annoyed with me the moment she met me. I don't know why. You know, but that's okay. That's her prerogative. That's her right. If I annoy her, she's allowed to be annoyed by me. You know, I tried to, like, be cool. I tried to impress her. Like, you know, I know she was a bass player. I'm a bass player. I know she worked at Costco. I was a student at Pima College for computer science. So, not going to relate on a blue-collar level. Maybe on a bass player level? I don't know. Why do I want to relate? Because I'm staying at her house. And I don't want to be a bad guest. I don't. I mean, me and Fred ended up playing Super Nintendo for a large amount of the time that we were there during the day when we were killing time before the gig. Granted, I think we hung out at her place more than once. Granted, it wasn't just her place. Like, there was a guy named Ryan, he lived there. And he also worked, like, down the street. And I remember walking, like, it's kind of like 4th Avenue here in Tucson, you know. I remember exploring. I always enjoyed exploring on my own in a new town. And even if it's a town I'd been to before, I would quite often typically explore in a different direction. You know, and we probably weren't staying at the exact location, so it would be a different part of town, and I could again explore. It's a funny thing because the band needs me. I'm their like bass player, so therefore I cannot explore recklessly. I knew this. Not only did I know my parents would want me to be safe, right? Because that's the last thing they want to hear is, oh God, what happened to our baby boy? But also the band needs me for the gig later that night. So if I go exploring like a jackass into like areas of danger or otherwise reckless, you know what I mean? I know it sounds silly, doesn't it? Then again, bear traps, landmines, and tiger traps. That's what they call those bamboo holes that are 6 feet deep. Those are technically tiger traps. I know. They're an endangered species, but they weren't always, I guess. Yes, yes. I know this is civilization as we know it. I always found it funny, humorous. From the time I heard the term the decline of Western civilization, I thought that was a funny concept. Because we are barely civilized. That's like, when I was growing up, it wasn't all Orwellian like it is now. It's not even that Orwellian. There's places you can go where it's quite rural, and you know there's no fucking cameras. Because there's no buildings. And like if there is a camera, it's like a wide angle from far away or something. I guess you could maybe like attach a camera to a tree. Kind of like one of those time-lapse cameras. You know, but give me a fucking break. It isn't like that's gonna do you any good. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Do you? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Should I elaborate? You see, a bear camera or whatever, like a bird watching camera attached to a tree, it's not connected to a network, and therefore it will be stored on that camera until someone comes and retrieves it. It's not like as if anyone's going to come to your rescue. It's not connected to any kind of network. That's what I was getting at. Okay, kid. I know it's strange, but it's things that I'd never talk about with anyone. And I rarely see things on the internet about these things. These things like landmines, bear traps, tiger traps, cameras that are attached to networks as opposed to cameras that are not. Fucking self-defense, responsibility, self-responsibility with regards to reckless craziness, you know? Dude, there's times that we have lost band members. We've been on tour, and we're like, what happened to the drummer? Where'd our drummer go? You know? It's like, it's happened, okay? Luckily, we found them. Okay? And and sometimes they actually needed to be found. Sometimes they were actually in a predicament. If you can believe that. I know, right? Live life like a video game? I think not. The nice thing about video games, you have fast travel. So what? If you travel far away from the home base, you're just like a select button, A button away from home. Well, you see, first you have to discover the location, and then once you make a check mark on your map that the location exists, then you can fast travel. It helps if you can Uber. Hey, you know something else? I've never rode in an Uber. I've never owned Bitcoin, and I've never rode in an Uber. You probably don't even believe me. Probably sound ridiculous, right? God damn, I'm thirsty. Why are you so weird, JJ? You drink lots of alcohol. You've never taken... Hey, you know what? I got friends. Okay? I've actually been in... What's the other one? I forget. There's like a different one that everybody uses other than Uber. I got a homie that works for them, and he's like taken me to band practice before and shit. Okay? Like, I'm not like, it's just like, and yes, I do drink a lot. Fuck yeah, I do. I'm getting a beer right now. You're not trying to imply anything, are you, kid? I think I need another cigarette. I was working on this fucking Macintosh for way too long. Okay. I'm getting tired of this light. It's very bright in my eyes. Alright. That's not a terrible idea. Alright. Why the hell not? If I turn out the light, you won't be able to see me, will you? So then, kiddo, what do you think of reality? The things I'm asking you. Dogs guard dogs that will attack you. Property that if you trespass on, you might get killed. Your responsibility as a member of society, as a family member, as participably a gang member or member of a group or otherwise. Have you ever gone on a field trip, kid? Are you one of those kids that gets lost on field trips? Do you end up getting in trouble because you go on field trips and they can't find you? Oh man. That's funny. I'm sorry, but you know, that never would have happened to me. Getting lost on a field trip. Are you shitting me? Dude, I mean seriously. Unless I was like sick and falling asleep randomly, which, you know, that's not exactly what happens when I get sick. Usually when I would get sick when I was a kid, I'd just go hack, 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 and it's pretty hard to like sleep when you're you know, basically having bronchitis. Seems like that's what, at some point my colds, my flus, they would just automatically go to bronchitis. I know, it's ridiculous, right? It's like, most people are done with the cold or flu in like 3 days, right? Like if I take some zinc, the zinc, you know, and some vitamin C, I can fight off just about any cold flu in 2 days. So I've got the perfect routine, the regimen. And if you got some echinacea that you want to donate to me, because that shit's pricier than zinc and vitamin C. But if I got some echinacea, I'll be done even quicker. The zinc and the vitamin C and the echinacea, and I'm not sick. But when I was a little kid, I didn't have those things, and I would get sick for weeks upon weeks upon weeks upon weeks. I think basically, it would take like antibiotics. Like when you've been sick for 8 weeks, like with the soupiest lungs you've ever had, and you're just like 8 years old, what? And you're taking like extenderol pills. I don't even know what those were made of, but they were supposed to help. And albuterol inhalers. Oh no, when you get that sick, you're using the nebulizer, okay? And back when I was this tall, the nebulizers were this big. Now you got pocket-sized nebulizers. Good for you. I haven't needed a nebulizer in about 3 years. I think that was the last. I did get COVID-19. I can't remember if that was when I used the nebulizer. That lasted 14 days. I was told it would last 14 days. And it literally did last 14 days. On the 14th day, I almost felt well. Because compared to the last 13, it was definitely an improvement. Yes. But I mean, it was 14. By the 15th day, I was well. It's like ridiculous. It might as well have been like a computer program. It literally was 14 days. I don't know, man. It's just COVID-19. It's just deadly. No, I've never been vaccinated. Not once. No. I've never owned Bitcoin. I've never rode in an Uber, and I've never been vaccinated. So what? I've been all over the United States of America. I've been to Portland, I've been to Seattle, I've been to St. Louis, I've been to Grand Rapids, I've been to Lansing, I've been to Detroit, I've been to New York, I've been to Philadelphia, I've been to Atlanta, Georgia, I've been to Orlando, Florida, I've been to, what was the other place in Florida? Let's not get hung up on Florida. I was in Oklahoma City, I've been to Albuquerque, I've been to Louisville, Kentucky, that's where Louisville is, right? I've been to Paducah, Kentucky. I know Paducah's in Kentucky. It's a nice little town. That's where we were smoking joints on top of that building where it said "Stay Golden." I've been to San Antonio, Texas. I've been to Dallas, Texas. I've been to, what was that town we broke down in? It was not a good town. I think it was in northern Texas. It was, fuck. What's the name of that? Oh, it's coming to me. It's, no. What's the name of that godforsaken town? You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone, because I don't want to trash talk. Alright, I've been to, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, that was the name of the city. I've been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I've been to Denver, Colorado. Of course, I've been to Phoenix about 1,000,000 fucking times. I mean, you basically have to go through there to get to a lot of places. Unless you go the other direction. Like, if you're gonna go to Denver, you're not gonna be going through Phoenix, okay? I've been to Salt Lake City, of course, yeah, and Provo. You know what? I've been everywhere. I've been to Montana. I've been to like Sturgis, Waldrug, you know? I've been to like, I mean, what? In Washington it was Seattle, and there was also, I think we were on the outskirts of Olympia or something like that. Yeah, yeah, Portland sucks, and Eugene, Oregon was a lot nicer. Look, I don't mean to be mean and put down Portland. It just wasn't good to me, and I was there a few times. The first time, they were protesting and didn't want to let our band play because they didn't like our lyrics. That's how politically correct and up their own ass they were, okay? We did get to play. And the second time I was there, okay, we were playing at a bar, like a venue bar, like 21 and over. That was more like a punk, like all ages kind of like warehouse venue kind of. But at the bar, okay, we had time to kill. We were early. We found some gutter punks. It's true. These kids were awesome, and they were over 21. They were homeless, but they were totally like us. Look, when you're walking around a town filled with schizophrenics, like literally homeless schizophrenics everywhere, like asking for money, and then when you say, "Oh, sorry, we're on tour," instead of saying, "Oh, that's cool, I understand," they say things like, and then like God knows what they're gonna say. It really random shit, like, you know, schizophrenic. Anyways, these kids were gutter punks, but they weren't schizophrenic. And we were talking about where we've been in the bands that we've known and like shit like that. And they're like, "Oh my god, I love that band, dude!" And we're singing along in the alleys, singing our favorite songs from like, you know, Corporate Death Burger, Ronald McDonald, Born to Die, Born to Fry. Yeah, we were talking about MDC. Yeah, and who else? You know. Anyways, these we had guest, like, you know, we could have a guest list, so we let all our gutter punk friends be on the guest list, and we even let them have some of our drink tickets. Granted, they got they got their beers and they drank them, but they at one point one of the beer mugs, the pints got broken over a head, and the slam dancing continued, but unfortunately when the head was bleeding and the glass was broken, our supporters and friends got escorted out of the venue. I guess they were too rowdy. They were too punk rock for the punk rock club. Yeah. Oh, was an ambulance called? Were the police called? Was anybody called? They just got thrown out. And, you know, they were basically our audience. Once they got thrown out, we didn't have anybody to play to. It was really dead. Yes, it was a well-flyered show. I don't know, man. I guess we were nobodies. Maybe the venue is just a shitty venue. You know what? It's just, I think it was a weekday, okay? I think everybody was working for the weekday. Go figure. Everybody's working for the weekday. Big surprise. You know what? And so what? I don't know. When we went outside to load the equipment, we saw our friends. You know, it was like two guys, two girls. And, you know, the tall guy got the beer pint smashed, and he was like nursing his wounds. Looked pretty fucked up, really. I think it might have cut deep. But, you know, hey, I mean, we were on stage. We were concerned, of course. These were our new friends. Like, oh my God, Are you okay? Do you need stitches? Do you need an ice pack? I could go get some ice and a paper towel. You might need an ice pack, buddy. That'll stop the bleeding. Are you okay? And I think they were too drunk. Like, we didn't give them that many beer tickets. But, I didn't know what I could do. Because, when people are too drunk, they're too drunk. Even if it's just like two beers. Like two beers and they're like, blah! What do you do? It's almost like Yoda in Las Vegas all over again. These fucking lightweights, dude. Fucking break my heart. It's like, if I could change the world, I'd make people practice drinking. So that way, if they have to, in a public situation scenario, they can handle themselves. You probably think I'm joking. I remember when I was a lightweight, I was like 21. I remember I'd go to a party, and after about 3 beers, I was ready to pass out, blackout on the front porch. Because I didn't want to be in the party anymore. I was ready to be totally wiped out. Yeah. A 21-year-old man, a grown-ass man, getting totally wiped out. You want... Oh my god. The first time that happened... here in my hometown, alright? I hadn't been 21 for very long, and I just didn't have a desire to drink when I was a teenager, nor did I have a desire to drink when I was 20. In fact, I couldn't. It's like I didn't have a good fake ID at that point. The fake ID I had when I was 17 would have got me a beer probably, maybe not in my hometown, but that I misplaced it or something. So yeah, 21-year-old grown-ass man. I hear about a party, and I was a working man at the internet company. I was in between girlfriends at the time, and that was its own situation. But the thing is, I go to this party, and there's a band. It's a house party, in a neighborhood, but it's a cool neighborhood. The cops didn't get called or nothing. They had a keg in the kitchen, right? It's a kegger. All right, yeah, man. And I think I might have had 6 beers. Like when I was super trashed, I think I might have had 6 at that point, and I had a good reason to drink. But then again, it might have only been 3. It's they're just Dixie cups. It's hard to remember. It was like only 20 years ago. But the thing is, okay, guys, after those beers, I was so wiped out. I found myself like a lawn chair to pass out in for however long. Right? And when I woke up, I'm like, whoa, these beers, man, they really fuck you up, don't they? Alright? And I'm like, well, people are still partying, and I'm awake now. I guess I'll go get myself another round of... I'll fill up my Dixie cup. It's right next to me. Nobody took it. I didn't break it. So, guess what happens? You're not gonna believe me. You're gonna think I'm making this up. My buddy Lothar the Third, he can confirm at least 2 things. That he had a roommate that was a kid roughly my age, and that kid, he had a girlfriend that had a blue-haired mohawk and she was kind of like, you know, our age, but you know, she was kind of more of like a, you know, a street kid, you know, kind of like my singer that's in prison right now, kind of like those kids in Portland, just kind of like, you know, survive however they survive, you know, not, they don't have a home, you know, but that was his girlfriend. Like Lothar's roommate had a girlfriend, and for a little while, and guess what? When I went inside to fill up my cup, that girl with the blue mohawk, she was stark naked. I think she had combat boots on, and she had the keg, and I think she was actually spraying beer, like a fountain, like, and it was, and you could tell she was completely inebriated. Like this was not like some kind of performance. This was like a totally trashed, probably blacked out, and just like, you know, reacting to something. Like, I don't know. I just woke up from the fucking I practically had a mini hangover from like a few cups of beer. 21-year-old man, yeah. But this chick, she just had a few beers and was fucking stark naked, doing a water fountain show, and you did not want to go near her. Trust me. If you would have tried to touch her, she would have hurt you. She was doing whatever the fuck she wanted and was basically blackout drunk, I think. Either that or just so trash she didn't care. It was something else. Anyways, needless to say, I did not fill up my cup. And I went and sat in my car for a while. And then I drove home. Isn't that great? Yeah. It's no big deal. Sometimes people get crazy when they drink. Other times, they can't even handle drinking. Like I say, you either pass out or wind up stark naked doing water fountain shows with the keg. And anything in between. Right? Look, kid, I don't know if there were other drugs involved. It's none of my business. I wouldn't be surprised, but I really don't think there were. I don't know. I just don't know. That is a possibility, of course. If somebody drinks a beer and goes completely ape shit, they might just have some other thing going on. You don't know. Like, if you're addicted to opiates and you drink a beer and you like stop breathing, that's a thing. It could happen, I guess. It's more likely to happen if you're like taking the fucking benzodiazepines, that's for sure. That's for sure. The whole respiratory shutdown. Uh-huh. Like a pain pill in a beer isn't gonna kill you, but a pain pill of Valium in a beer, that might kill you. Yeah, it's true. It's ask your pharmacist or doctor about it. Why don't you? Ask your nurse. You know? Or you could go get a nurse's physician's desk reference. Or a physician's desk reference. It's ridiculous. That combination is super duper duper deadly. It's like, you could like... Have you ever looked that up? There's a Wikipedia page that has a list of celebrities that have died from drug overdoses. Okay? I looked it up like a dozen years ago. Okay? Just because I was like, I think someone had recently died. It might have been like Heath Ledger or some shit. I think everybody took that one pretty hard. Because he was really young. And stuff. And a dynamic actor that could portray many different things. And it just seemed like a great loss. And I think it was. I think it prompted me to go to the Wikipedia and look up that list of dead celebrities, and an overwhelming majority of them are alcohol, benzodiazepine, and opioid combination deaths. And I actually made like a spreadsheet, and like it was gargantuanly. It was like 75% of the deaths were like that. That combination. Perhaps there were barbiturates involved. I mean, like, okay, what the fuck are barbiturates? Who's getting fucked up on barbs? Got any lewds, dude? I don't even know, but it was remarkable. It was really an eye opener, you know. At the time, I was taking clonazepam. It's kind of like a post-traumatic stress mood stabilizer. It was I think it was like half a gram or half a milligram or whatever the usual dose is, like one thing, like probably milligram, right? It was the half, so very low dose. But you know, it was advised. You know, I got a lot of treatment at La Frontera, which is a community mental health, behavioral health facility. You know, for people that are like, you know, that need it. There's like support groups and crap like that. And there's doctors and crap like that. And some of the doctors, you know, are psychiatrists that will diagnose you. Alright? And then you'll probably have a nurse practitioner to maintain your you know, prescription. It's basically like, you know, because doctors are very busy people. You only need to get the diagnosis once. Like, that's how it works. A doctor can spot the symptoms. Like, kind of like, you know the way I can spot a schizophrenic? Like, if they're talking to themselves and their clothes are tattered, and if you try to talk to them and they say something like, "Oh, the bees, ah, they're like, oh, it's a schizo." Granted, they might just be like on drugs, I suppose. Maybe you might see them the next day and they're normal. How's the weather? Oh, lovely, I think. It's not very likely. I'm sorry. It's a painful thing to see a person that's that far gone. It's what can you do? It's like, is it drugs? If it's not drugs, Jesus Christ. What can you do? Why don't you put them in prison, why don't you? You gonna rehabilitate them? You gonna make them normal again? Are you gonna put them into a hospital? They're basically dangerous. I don't want to sound like a prejudiced person, man. Alright? I'm not. I know I come from Arizona. You probably think I'm a Republican, but I already told you I'm an independent. Which is hilarious because I'm highly dependent. Because I'm highly injured? Yeah. So what? What do politics have to do with anything? Let me guess. When you were a little kid, when you were 10 years old, you realized that your parents were this political affiliation, and you realized that you were this religion, whatever your parents were, and you just stayed that way the rest of your life, right? No? Oh, you sound pretty radical, kid. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to patronize you. I just remember what that felt like. When I realized that we had a bumper sticker on the car that said, impeach Meekum, get even. Don't get mad, get even. Impeach Meekum. I realized, oh, we're Democrats, aren't we? But, not necessarily. I mean, back then, I guess, my mom, she's whatever she is. She's basically a free thinker, but lately her free thinking has been a little right direction. You know what? That's her prerogative, and I don't need to talk about it. And my old man is dead, so he doesn't have any political leanings. But, back when I realized that bumper sticker said what it said, and Meekum was a Republican governor, so impeaching him. You ever listen to that Public Enemy song? When I get to Arizona. Wow, wow, wow. It's like in reference to back when we didn't actually celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday. Like, we just had it the other day. I didn't do a very good job of celebrating it. Then again, I didn't do a good job of celebrating Christmas or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or Thanksgiving or Halloween. So, it's all regrettable. But regardless, yeah, at least we can celebrate it, because back when Meekum was the governor, it wasn't even a holiday. Can you believe that? Can you believe that in the rest of the United States of America, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was a holiday, but here it wasn't? Can you believe that? Like, how did that happen? I don't even know. You'd probably be better off asking Chuck D or Flava Flav, and they'll tell you about it. Because I was just like, this tall. But isn't that some shit? It's like unfathomable, right? I'm not even old. I know I'm Grandpa JJ, but I'm 42. Okay? And that bumper sticker, I was like 8 or 9 or 10. That's like 30 years ago. Like 30 years ago, I was living in a racist state. So racist that, in fact, excuse me? Yeah, we didn't even celebrate Dr. Martin Luther. That man was assassinated, and he had a dream. Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, oh, 30 years ago. That was when Rodney King got beat down by the LAPD, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and it was caught on video. Oh, yeah, it was. That's why it was a big deal. There was actual footage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it wasn't even Orwellian or anything, right? It was like somebody that got out of their car that had like a camcorder and they couldn't believe what they were witnessing, so they quickly grabbed the camcorder. You see, the funny thing about that is a big bulky VHS camcorder, like like it's gonna take a human being like at least like 30 seconds to a minute just to get the thing rolling. I don't care if it's loaded up with a battery, alright, and I don't care if it's got a tape already inside, okay? The fact of the matter is, flipping the power switch from off to on takes about 5 seconds before the thing becomes activated, probably more like 10 seconds, before you can actually press the bright red record button on the handle with the zoom, you know? So you got like a 10-second, let's just say 10 seconds to power it up before you can press the record button, okay? And then, like, you know, let's just say they were beating Rodney King for a long time. If you've got time to grab your camera out of the trunk or wherever it was, power it up. Like, they were beating that guy a long time. Yeah, that's like remarkable. I mean, don't you think so? Don't you think so? It was a remarkable video. I remember watching it, and the guy was bouncing off of the pavement. He was like getting hit with the club, right? And his body would go flat against the pavement, and he was bouncing up like a basketball. I think maybe it was a natural reaction, like his spine was curling, and he was trying to maybe get his face away from the pavement, because after having your teeth hit the pavement, you're kind of gonna try to bring them away from the pavement, because that's a good way to lose your teeth, right? But as he would like bounce off of the pavement, they would kerwhack him back down to the pavement, and then he would bounce again. So he's basically like a fish out of water, like uh. But every time that like he does the that's the Billy Club, and then he's like, my face, bam. It was ridiculous, right? Was it not? Have you ever watched it? It's pretty ridiculous. Granted, watching Reginald Denny get beat down is pretty ridiculous. I know, right? These were the times I grew up in. What do they say? 2 wrongs don't make a right? Yeah, well, what does make a right? That was kind of the attitude. Is like, I don't give a fuck about 2 wrongs, 3 wrongs, 4 wrongs. I just know I'm angry and I gotta do something about this because this is ridiculous. Right? Even if it means taking a innocent truck driver out of his truck and like throwing a brick into his head. Can't we all just get along? It's funny. There was a pop culture phenomenon. They transformed "Can't we all just get along" into "Can't we all just hit a bong?" You know, marijuana. It was like it was so weird, and it was so twisted, and like the rioting mixed with like the brutality, mixed with like the senseless violence, and like ultimately the end result was just a bunch of confusion. And basically it brought the injustice. Basically, that was the beginning of Black Lives Matter, if you ask me. But the thing is, like, if you asked any one of my peers to make sense out of the whole thing, you're probably gonna get the response, "Can't we all just hit a bong?" Yeah. Those fucking bear traps, man. And those oh, there, that's better. Those bear traps, those tiger traps, those fucking landmines, they'll get you. I'm telling you. Watch out for the speed traps too, you know, with the radar guns. Don't get pulled over. For a while there was one in my neighborhood. Every time I would go to get alcohol, there would be this copper on a residential street, and every once in a while I'd see somebody get pulled over. I, of course, didn't get pulled over because I was sober, and I knew they were there because I saw them more than once pulling people over. So I would turn on my cruise control mechanism, and I would set it to the speed limit and nothing more, nothing less. And I would keep my hand on the wheel, and I'm totally sober, and I'm a very excellent safe driver. So that's pretty easy to avoid the speed trap. I know it's child's play, right? And if I was too drunk, I would ride my skateboard to the store. You've seen me do that on videos time and time again, right? You ever been pulled over in a speed trap, huh, kid? I swear to God, I see people around me driving like bats out of hell. It's usually around like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening, or maybe like at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And of course, you know, sometimes there's speed traps, sometimes there's not. But I guarantee you, that's what they call rush hour. There was a movie called Rush Hour. It stars Jackie Chan. And I just was talking about this dude the other day from Friday and Fifth Element. Freaking I think his last name's Brown, right? Fuck, man. I'm a big fan of this guy. What the fuck is his name? Well, anyways, regardless, yeah, Rush Hour, it's a thing. Right? What's that all about? Oh, it's about commuting, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging, kid. I'm just trying to make a cigarette. Yeah, commuting. Ain't that a hell of a thing? Hopefully you have mass transportation, right? Oh, I got a bus. I got a public bus. Oh, good for you, kid. No, that's not what I mean, really. But sure, that's kind of what I mean. That's basically what I mean. You got a good bus system. One comes every 15 minutes, right? Oh, 10 minutes? You got a really good bus system. That's awesome. I mean, like, whether you got a rail car system or a subway system or like a bus system. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a good way to avoid rush hour, right? Yeah, no shit. You know, I've always preferred telecommuting. I don't know if you know that term. Got a light? Ugh, I gotta get this tray out of my way. I've always preferred telecommuting. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. I just have to say it. I'll talk like a normal person, okay? Okay. Do over. Yeah, it's a good thing if you got mass transportation, you know, for the commuting to work. Granted, though, personally, I've always preferred remoting. Because, like, it's the shit. It's the only way to work, right? Yeah, that's what they call it, remoting. It made sense to call it telecommuting because, like, going to work is called commuting. And so if you do it by telephone, it's telecommuting. It was a very logical, you know, term. The terminology, it was like, it very logical. I don't know who changed it to remoting. You know what remoting makes me think of? Oh, dude, what's on the idiot box? Oh my god, this sucks. I hate television. I hate you. But it's cool, man. I know. Because I remote control your computers all the time because I'm a gray hat. It's cool. I know. Remoting. Remote control. Remote. I'm remote. I'm right here, but I'm not there. No. I've got, like, I wish I wouldn't have brought geolocation into this whole affair. I was feeling very comfy. I felt like we were making headway, talking about all the weird things, about reality and being a human, and being vulnerable and yet being a part of the things, and like, but I'm scared, man. I'm talking about, like, I gotta fix this. I'm gonna fix my scaredness. I gotta fix my fear. It's okay. It's no big deal. I'm safe now. Nobody's getting in here. I got a steel door. They can't even pick the fucking lock. I'm safe. Oh my. I'm safe from everything but myself. I'm falling apart. You know what? This is ridiculous. I don't need sunglasses. I need to turn off that stupid fucking light. It's the bottom line. Yeah, man. Remoting. I've never remoted into anything. I've only telecommuted. It's true. I've never remoted into work. Never. Not once. I've remoted into your systems. Not your systems, but you know what I mean. Anyways. Yeah, I've only telecommuted. It's exactly the same thing, but I remember at the time I thought this is the only way to work. I mean, shit. Why am I going to work just to sit at a computer when I could be doing that at home? Right? Man, I probably wouldn't have got laid off if I had just been, like, telecommuting. It's like most of the time I was like, you know, I don't really know why they laid me off. I think they were just downsizing. That was the official story. Alright? But, like, look, kid, I gotta talk about this. it's very pertinent. It weighs on my mind to this day. Because, when I got laid off, it led up to the eventual accident and death of my band. And though I told them we should stay in Colorado, like, I made the right decision and they made their decision, and they died and I lived. The guy that made the right decision lived, and the guys that made the wrong decision died. So they basically, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you've got to live with your decisions. Okay? It's just, when I got laid off, I didn't really help book that tour very well. I was always really good at helping book the tour because I was the internet guy. And I was good at sending out the emails, and I was like good at checking the email, But it's like when I got laid off, I just started like drinking Heinekens and like, playing Crazy Taxi, drinking Heinekens, and buying drugs from anybody that came by that had drugs, whatever kind of drugs, I don't care. When I got laid off, I was getting unemployment, and I said, I don't want a job. I don't ever want another job ever again. I'm going to collect this unemployment. I'm going to tell them I'm looking for a job. Yes, I went to Voc Rehab. I found it very patronizing. I did. They're telling me how to get a new job. Like as if I even wanted one. I'd had 2 fiancés at this point. Okay? And at the end of my fucking and you can see them both in those fucking ZTTF home movies. The first one says, "Why are we going to hell in a handbasket?" when we're looking at her Volkswagen Rabbit. And the second one went on tour with us all the way up to Reading. Those are my 2 fiancés, the only 2 I've ever had. And so what? Well, when I got laid off, the second one, she was still working at the place where I got laid, because I got her hired there, right? But, the thing, I was really depressed. Like, I just didn't know what to do. I was still in college, and I was still making A grades. Granted, it was really difficult because for part of the time I didn't have a car, so I had to take the bus, and taking the bus from my apartment to my campus and doing the class and then taking the bus back. The bus was basically taking an hour and a half. Sometimes I'd be doing homework on the bus. Sometimes I'd be losing my mind on the bus. Sometimes I'd be falling asleep on the bus. It's just kind of like one of those things. It is what it is. And it would have been nice if I just could have got home and been with the girl that was leaving me. And that song, Boss, Bus, Didn't Stop My Stop, Boss, was acting like a snot. School, time I got in a knot. I guess today I shouldn't have woke up. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. Yeah. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. You, girlfriend, wanted to break up. Bank account wasn't filled up. Credit card was fucking racked up. I guess somewhere I must have fucked up. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. 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 Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, you get mad too. I see you. You're getting mad and you're flipping people off when they cut you off. Yeah, I do that too. Except I don't need to be cut off. I just gotta walk down the street to let you all know how I feel. That was a hell of a day. I'm glad I wrote a song about it. I hate every last one of you, and I hope you fucking die. Shove it up you goddamn assholes. Break it off and fucking choke. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. Days like today, they make me wanna kill. Yeah. I think that was the day I had my first mental breakdown and wanted to go postal. And it's like, it was disturbing. And the lyrics are true. And I did walk down the street. And I was shouting at the cars driving by, flipping them off. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yeah, enjoy your car. I used to have one. Now I'm walking on the sidewalk. Fuck you, fuck you. I'm important. I'm a computer programmer. I'm a student with I'm a Phi Theta Kappa Dean's List. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I was so down on my luck, and I was so pissed off at my stupid fiance because she was totally not helping. She was like a temperamental roommate. Like, she literally left. We signed a lease and she just left. And it was up to me to pay for, like, she agreed. I got her the job at the fucking internet place, and she was like, "Oh yeah, paying $200 a month rent, that's no big deal, honey. Oh, of course I'll help you." Yeah, like, we got a bigger apartment specifically because she said that. Otherwise, we would have stayed in a studio. Because I think I was in a studio at the time. Like, it's so hard to remember for sure. But look, alright, being abandoned by that dumb bitch, for whatever reason, I guess she didn't like the way I was treating her. Dude, I was working like 8 hours a day. I never got to see the first fiance. I never got to see the second fiance. It was more like I was married to the fucking job. Like, I never got to see these broads. And that's life, man. I mean, am I telling you anything you don't know? Most people consider that healthy, right? Because, hey, who wants to be around the ball and chain that much? Yeah, it's a good thing to have a job. You get a breather from the ball and chain. Dude, I had so much of a breather, I was barely seeing either ball and chain. And they weren't even ball and chains yet. They were more just like chains. You know, the till death do you part, that's when you get the ball, right? That's when you get weighed down. I don't know, dude. I'm just telling it like it is. I'd never done it, so I just know what I've heard. Okay? Like the ball and chain. First, the fiance thing is the chain, then the till death do you part, and the ring, and the kiss, and the clapping, and the rice throwing. That's when you get the ball, and the ball and chain is complete. Yeah, I didn't make it to the ball because, like, I was spending more time at work, and I was living with both of my chains. What is that? Like, I wasn't being abusive. I wasn't being neglectful. I was a party dude. I was in a band. I was a fun guy making lots of money. At least by the standards of, like, my little sleepy desert town. I was on the cutting edge of technology. Like, the internet was a hip hop thing, and broadband internet was hard to get. I could get you DSL from Covad, from New Edge, from Quest, recently known as US West. Not only that, but I knew, like, the cable networks that were, you know, available. Not to mention that, but I knew the neighborhoods. Like, if you're gonna get DSL, you should live here. because it's close to the switching box. Like, these were the concerns of a modern kind of guy or gal. Like, I was the kind of guy, I could get you some high-speed internet. I could get you some marijuana. I could probably get you some other things. What, you like mushrooms? What, you like going to techno raves, eh, kid? Yeah? I got friends. I'm in a band. I know lots of people. I'm a hip-hop guy. Yeah, I'm a little chubby. I smoke a lot of pot. I need it to stay calm because I just like got a lot of shit to deal with. I'm just a modern kind of guy. And I couldn't keep the job, I couldn't keep the girls, and I couldn't keep my sanity. And there's no good reason. Like, I know I showed up late to work a million fucking times. So what? I got my job done. Obviously, they didn't fire me over my 2.5 tardy sheets or whatever it was. Because I would put in my 8 hours. I may show up at like fucking noon or 2 o'clock. Who knows? But I'll stay until 10 and put in my 8 hours and make sure that I get my coding done to get the database and the billing system all fucking working. Like, that wasn't the issue. I got my work done. And I would take my girls out for the weekend. Like, the first fiance, she liked to dance, so we always went out dancing. Okay? And the other one, she wasn't so much of a dancer. She just liked going out and checking out things like movies, or maybe like going downtown, you know, checking out music, going to house parties. She was kind of a punk rock girl, you know. Punk rock girl, yeah, Dead Milkman, yeah, kind of like that. But like, anyway, if you can't tell from the videos, like, anyways. I did nothing wrong. I was a nice guy. Sometimes I might get overwhelmed because I never made enough money. So hypothetically, if one of the dumb bitches wanted to waste money, I was like, yo, dumb bitch, hey, we don't have enough money. Can we please not waste it? And you know, it's kind of hard to say that in a nice way when you're a 20-year-old man that doesn't know how to articulate as well as a 40-year-old man. Yeah, like maybe I would have said, hey, look, we don't have the money. What are you thinking? You know? Whereas now I'd say something like, you know, that's a really good idea. And I think we should mark it down on a list and put it on the refrigerator and keep it in mind for a later time period, because right now we do not have, according to the budget, it looks like we don't have the funds to enjoy such activities right now. But that does sound like a lot of fun, and something I'd love to do with you. I know. I totally sound like a pussy. You know what? I sound like a nice person, and I am a nice person, okay? And that's basically, when you're gonna shoot somebody's idea down, it's best if you do it nicely, right? Like, that was pretty good. Like, if somebody wants to waste money and put you into debt for something that's just, like, not gonna really help. Like, I don't know. Hey, let's go out to the mountains. You know, it's only gonna cost $150 to get, like, the gear to do that. It's like, or something like that, right? It's like, when I was 20, I would have said, look, that's crazy. We can't afford to do that. We can barely afford the rent. Like, if we can come up with the money, sure. Like, that's the way I would have said it. Yeah, and you know, it's not very elegant, is it? I know how to talk now. I'd be like, oh my god, that would be so much fun. Oh, here, let's make a list of, like, what we need, and, like, you know, I'd like go along with the idea at first until we got to the realization point of, oh, this is like totally not in our budget. People are like children. They are so infantile. You have to handle them like claysome? Is that, or maybe like one of those like 1,000-year-old Chinese eggs that are like, what are those porcelain eggs that are worth like a gajillion dollars because they're like intricate as fuck and old as fuck and filled with jewels and valuable as fuck. Like, every human is like a goddamn... It's ridiculous, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. I swear to God, neither one of them were marriage material. You know what I mean? I've seriously probably always needed a bitch that would be like, fuck you, JJ, like fucking beat me up, and then I'm like, leave me alone, you're hurting me, and then she goes, what are you, little faggot, what? And then that's when I fucking climb on top of her and say, I'll show you what kind of faggot I am, and then that's when we have the passionate lovemaking, you know, because it's like, to have a sensitive bitch that you have to fucking tiptoe around and handle like a little porcelain egg, and that you're not gonna crack by saying like the truth, like, we don't have the money for this, or maybe like, look, this is not cool, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, man, I don't like being the voice of reason. It seems like a stupid thing, right? Because I look crazy to you, I know, because I am crazy. I'm neglecting my beer. I'm not that crazy, though. You ever watch me play a video game? I'm never gonna do it ever again. But luckily, there's lots of video of me playing video games. I like zero in on that shit, man. I'm like, I don't fuck around. You ever watch me play guitar? Yeah, man, I don't fuck around. I mean, like, unless I'm fucking, in which case I'll... You ever see me fuck? I'm like, I fuck around? No. Zero. I don't know, man. It's nice to have something to focus on when your entire reality totally sucks most of the time. If you got anything good to focus on whatsoever, it's basically trivial to just tune everything out and focus on the one good thing you have. Is it not? I would think so. And it's true. I'm telling you, it is true. It is so. If your entire life is ready to go down the toilet, it really helps if you got one good thing. Because, like, you can really focus on it. You basically need to. I'm getting a headache. I need my fucking Excedrin. I gotta piss. Yo, man. You kids don't know shit, and I hate you, and I'm never gonna play a video game ever again.